Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. Welcome to Hallo-week, day number 2. My Hallo-week series has started yesterday and today is our day number 2 and we have 6 more episodes coming at you. For those of you who are new to my channel, I do a series of wreaths, that's 7 wreaths consecutively plus 1 bonus wreath right at the very end to create that Hallo-week series. Today is day number 2. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made. For my base wreath, I'm using something a little bit different. This is a large square pegboard. It's made out of plastic with a whole bunch of holes, some 6-inch deco mesh. This is the Dollar Tree deco mesh. This Enter If You Dare skull sign with these little hanging wooden bats and stuff. I've also got some gold and black tubing. This is mesh tubing, some black pipe cleaners, and my regular crafting utensils to create this project today. First thing I'm going to do is start with my cutting of the deco mesh, and today I'm cutting my deco mesh at the 7-inch mark. And I'm going to be cutting 4 rolls in total. I'm going to cut 3 using my little handy dandy tool of this basket and dowels. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to make sure my deco mesh unravels at the top, and then I'm going to put the dowels right through the center of that deco mesh. I can fit 3 rolls in here, and all you have to do is really pull on that deco mesh, layer it, so I've got the 3 rolls layered on top of each other, and then give it a slight pull, and I'm going to cut at that 7-inch mark. So again, I'm cutting 3 rolls at the same time. It saves you a lot of time when you can do this, and in total, like I said, I used up 4 rolls of that deco mesh. So I'm just going to continue cutting my deco mesh at that 7-inch mark. Now this is the Dollar Tree 6-inch by 5 yards deco mesh. I cut 88 pieces of it at 7-inch lengths, and we're going to do 4 pieces of mesh per bundle, 22 bundles in total, so that's approximately 52 feet, and like I mentioned earlier, I did use 4 rolls of the Dollar Tree deco mesh to create this project. And for our bundles, I'm using a half a pipe cleaner and 4 of those 7-inch pieces. And to start off, I'm just going to roll one into a tube shape. You can see it right here. Put that right between my fingers and hold it. And I want this to be a little bit spastic, let's say. Not just the rolled up deco mesh, the curly method. So what I'm going to do is some of the deco mesh, I'm actually going to turn it into a diamond shape, and then I'm going to really tightly roll it. And that's going to create a longer tube for some of our deco mesh. So again, I'm doing various lengths, tightness of the rolls, just kind of making it really, really spastic, if you will. And I'm not being too precise with those rolls. Once I have 4 pieces together, I'm going to add my pipe cleaner right in the middle, twist it in the center, and then we have our first bundle made. And then once that bundle's made, I'm going to continue on doing those same processes for all of those bundles. I'm going to roll them together in a tube, then an off-center tube, a thin tube, a thicker tube. So we have varying lengths, varying widths for our deco mesh, and that creates a lot of interest once we start putting our little wreath together on that pegboard. And I'm going to continue rolling up, making those bundles. Again, that's 22 bundles in total of our deco mesh. So I'm just going to roll this deco mesh till my heart's content. Rolling away. And I'm also going to use the deco mesh tubing, and I'm just kind of looping it together. I'm not measuring anything, so I'm just creating 5 loops per bundle. Once I've got my 5 loops, I'm going to take another half pipe cleaner and just wrap that around the center, creating that little loopy tube, and then cut off the excess, and we have our little mesh tube all ready to go. And I'm going to create 5 of these bundles using the same method, just eyeballing it and then wrapping it with the pipe cleaner. Once those are all done, I'm going to come to my sign, take off the little hanging thing at the top, and as well at the bottom, I'm going to loosen up the staples and take apart that bottom piece, because I am going to use that bottom piece. But now I'm going to add some glue right at the back and to add some pipe cleaners in that glue. And this is how we're going to add it to the sign or attach it to the sign. I'm going to add a little more hot glue on the ends to make sure it's nice and secure. Then I'm going to put that aside to fully dry. Once I have that down, I'm going to take out my pegboard, and this is the large pegboard. You can see it has all those holes all over the place, and I'm going to use 2 holes per bundle. That's how I'm going to attach the bundles into that pegboard. So I'm just taking my pipe cleaner stems, opening them up, and then I'm just going to feed them through. I'm going to start right at the bottom left-hand corner. Just feed it through those holes, and then I'm just going to wrap it around a couple of times, making sure it's nice and secured. Once it's secured in there, I'm just going to take my scissors, cut off the excess, and then I'll flip it over so you can see our first attachment here. And then I'm just going to do the exact same with the other bundles, feeding it through those 2 holes, wrapping around the back, and then twisting those pipe cleaner stems together to attach it to that pegboard. I'm going to continue that same process all around the outside holes, and I'm going to do 22 bundles in total, and that is the 7-inch cuts of deco mesh. There's 4 of those within each bundle, and I'm just going to attach those between the 2 holes right around the outside. You can kind of see how it's coming together now. I'm just adding the few leftover bundles in there where it needs it to make it nice and full. And once that's all done, we have our base all ready to go. Look at how that deco mesh, I know it looks uneven, but that is the total look that I'm going for. A little spastic, a little bit uneven. It creates interest rather than just that curly loop. Now we're going to add those gold and black deco mesh tubing, and I'm just kind of, like I said, I did 5 bundles of these, so I'm just kind of placing them here and there, and I'm doing the same process how I attach the deco mesh. I'm just feeding it through those peg holes, twisting that pipe cleaner, cutting off the excess, and then moving on to the next one, adding that in there right through the holes and twisting that pipe cleaner, cutting off the excess, making sure it's nice and secure. And now I'm just going to flip it over and fluff everything up. I'm going to spread out those mesh tubing a little bit so they're not so condensed. And once that's done, it's time to add that sign on there. Again, with those pipe cleaners, I'm just going to feed it through a couple of the holes right in the center there. Once they're fed through, I'm just going to give it a little pull, make sure it's nice and tight, and then I'm just going to twist tie those stems together. Here I'm just kind of making sure I have it where I want it, counting the holes. And then I don't cut off the excess just yet. I want to make sure everything is nice and secure and where I want it. So I flip it over a couple of times and I decide I need to tighten that one other end. So I'm just going to unloosen it, tighten it again, and now I'm happy. I'm just going to cut off that excess for our sign. You'll notice there's a hole right at the top, and what I usually like to do, and this is a little bit of a triptych. This is a little tip for you. I'm getting stuck on my words. I just add a little hot glue where the hole is and put that pearl down. This is just a pearl bead. It kind of hides that hole, and it makes, just finish it off that little bit. Here I'm going to add my bottom portion of the sign that I took apart earlier, and I'm just going to use the same ribbons because I like how they look, and I'm going to make sure that my frame is facing down, so the wreath is facing down, as well as my sign is facing down, because the face down is actually going to be the good side or the front side. And I'm going to attach those ribbons on just using some hot glue right at the back there. And I'm just going to hold it in place for a little bit until that glue dries. And then once that's all dry, our sign at the bottom is all secured. I'm also going to take a full-length pipe cleaner and I'm going to attach it and pull it through a couple of the holes right at the top and twist it together. This is going to be how I'm going to hang my wreath on my door. And once I get that all looped together, you have your hanger for your wreath all set to go onto your door wreath hanger. I'm just loving how this turned out. I love the black and gold that matches the red and gold in our sign, the little enter if you dare with our little RIP and bats and eyeball hanging below. And of course, here it is hanging on my studio door. I'm loving this against that black background with the white door. I just love how this turned out, and I hope you do as well. Thank you for joining me for Hallow-week day number 2. Don't forget to click that playlist right down below so you can watch all of the other episodes. Thank you so much for joining me on day number 2 of Hallow-week. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new project. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.